Hello, this is Greg Allison coming to you on the 15th of December, 2020. And I bet you don't know what today is. Today is Bill of Rights Day. Bill of Rights. You know, I've talked about our Bill of Rights in several videos. I've talked about our freedom. I've talked about why freedom matters and these kind of things. You should go back and check those videos. There's a lot of content there that you would be well served to view. But today is all about the freedoms that are reserved for I and you. You and I would be proper English, but it doesn't rhyme as well, right? So we are blessed. We are fortunate to have rights observed by our government and our society. But that seems to be going away. It seems to be something that is on the way out. So some of us have banded together and formed a Freedom Restoration Foundation to try to bring them back in. And others are also working toward those ends. So we're going to go over the Bill of Rights. We'll talk a little bit about the history of it. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to actually read some of these rights to you. I'm going to talk about why they matter. So hang on to your pants, friends. But we're in an age right now where we're under all kinds of trials and tribulations. We have stress from inside our society. We have stress on the outside of our society. We have potential for conflict, both inside and outside. We have economic stresses, social stresses, and the sun is waking up again and starting to punch, which puts our power grid at risk. So I got to tell you, you got to get ready. You better be prepared. But I do tell you to be prepared, not scared. So real quick here, I have a special deal, which is a really good deal. It's lightweight, and this is, I have $100 off of 2 of these if you go to prepwithgreg.com. And 2 of these gives you a month's supply of food for one person, which gives you 2,000 calories a day for a whole month. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At this right price, you'll be a winner because this is good stuff. You can bug out with it. You can take the little pouches out of here and put them in your bug out bags. You can throw this in your car, your boat. Maybe if you got a side thing on your motorcycle, I don't know. But these are easy to carry because it is freeze-dried food, but it is real food. It is not MREs. It's good stuff. It's an excellent deal. You should check that out. And go to prepwithgregs.com, and you can get other prepping supplies there too. Plenty of other things. Just click on the My Patriot Supply logo after you go to prepwithgregs.com, and it will help you and support my channel too. All right. So let's get on and talk about the Bill of Rights. I bet there's a lot of things you didn't know. And in fact, the Bill of Rights Day was enacted by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And it was done on the 15th of December, 1941. So we've had a Bill of Rights Day ever since then. But who was it that actually proposed the Bill of Rights? I bet you may not know. Actually, it was James Madison, who later became the 4th President of the United States. And did you know that the Bill of Rights originally had 12 proposed amendments? And so one concerned the number of constituents for each representative. And the other represented compensation of a congressman. Well, neither one of those were ratified. Fortunately for us, right? So in any event, well, actually, that latter one was made. Ratified 203 years later. It's the 27th Amendment. Yay. Oh, well. But it took it a while, right? But it's not considered part of the Bill of Rights. So there are 14 copies of the Bill of Rights originally. And yeah, there were. One for each state, or one for each of the 13 original states, and one for federal archives. Only 12 survive today. And of those 12, you find one in the rotunda of the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. That's where you can go get and see one of the original Bills of Rights. And these are very important documents. So why do you care? You know, some people say, well, the Bill of Rights are against social justice. They don't help us. But the people that are rallying against them are using the Bill of Rights to rally against the Bill of Rights. Well, see, my friends, I've talked to you a lot. I'll tell you this. I tell you that in communist and socialist societies, you wind up one-party states, and one-party states are inherently extremely corrupt. In any system, even if it's two-party, once they get into collusion with each other and start developing large deep state mechanisms, guess what happens? You get more and more power concentrated in fewer and fewer hands in the governance system. Be the elected officials or the bureaucracy they create. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, said Lord Acton. And birds of a feather flock together, and who has the goal makes the rule. When you take these three principles and put them together, they form a dynamic that leads to tyranny. You need checks and balances to keep that sweep out those cobwebs of tyranny, but they grow, they encroach over time. Our founding fathers foresaw that. To the point that, as you may know, that Thomas Jefferson thought the blood of liberty, the tree of liberty, would have to be refreshed with the blood of patriots about every 50 years. Well, that hasn't quite happened, but look at how the fungus has choking the tree today. Our Bill of Rights, our rights are very much under attack. So let's go through these rights and let's kind of talk about them a little bit. Because listen, you can't have rights if you don't know what they are. And one of the most important rights is the one which says that any right not in the purpose of the Constitution. One of the reasons that the Bill of Rights wasn't added in the first place was a lot of the founding fathers feared that if they enumerated them, they would be the only rights that you had in the end. They felt that all these rights were just kind of, understood and inalienable rights. So that's the way it ought to be. If we start enumerating them, then that will be all you've got. And to alleviate that, they created the 9th Amendment, which reserves all the rest of the rights to you, and the 10th Amendment to the states, and again, to you. So we'll go into that a little bit. But today, is that the case? Is that where the government said? No. If it's not enumerated, you don't have it. And even when it's enumerated, we find all kind of loopholes, so you only got a itty bitty slice of it. And we're squeezing that little slice more and more and more every single day. That's what they want to do. So and then they want to sweep it all away, because they get in the way of the operations of the tyrannies, of the deep states, of the big corporations, of globalism, machinations and things, the Great Reset, and all these things they want to hit you with. So that's why we need a return to liberty. That's why we need and will push this. And we'll win in the end, guarantee you. We're going to come out ahead, but it's going to be a tussle along the way. And let's hope if we're smart and we get out front, it won't be so bad. Hopefully. I'm going to do a video real soon about the divisions in this country, and maybe some about potential uncivil warfare with a W. Okay, so let's kind of get into this. Put on my extra set of eyeballs because some of this stuff is a little bit small. So, the Constitution of the United States, Amendment 1. And Amendment 1 doth say, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. They don't say it's going to be against religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. What's happening with some of these lockdowns today? Or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Yes, you have the right to peaceably assemble. You have the right to peaceably redress your grievances. You do have the right of speech. Some people want to take all that away from us in the name of social justice. But I'm going to tell you, you'll have no justice in the end, because the government will grow into tyranny and you will not be able to complain about it. You won't be able to say anything about it. Look what happens in China. You go to jail if you're lucky. If you're lucky. So, and that's the way it is with societies of tyranny. So, Amendment 2. Amendment of sway, yeah? Sway, not off sway. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's about a militia. It's about the military. It's about the National Guard. That's our militia. The militia was every able-bodied man. That's what the militia was. And they wanted you to train and get good just so nobody come kick your county in. That's how it was done back when this was written. They were against standing armies. Our founding fathers were against the standing army. They would not have agreed to us having the standing army of the day or the National Guard. However, we have international threats, which kind of makes it problematic to get rid of that, as long as some other countries have got one and might want to come here and shove whatever they got down our throat in terms of their systems. I would prefer to go with the founding fathers. Means hopefully we can get back there one day. Maybe we need to work this through the grassroots of people all over the world to overthrow all these tyrannies and so forth everywhere. And maybe we can get back to having the kind of society that our founding fathers dreamed of through the grassroots, the people worldwide. But they got to get the word, and you got to have freedom of speech to get the word there. They can't be controlling their internets as they do, especially in China, and they're starting to emulate that right here. Yeah, interesting. So, Amendment 3: no soldier shall, in the time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner prescribed by law. As you may recall, during the Revolutionary War, the British quartered their soldiers in just anybody's and everybody's house. They didn't have any say-so about it. And they came in and pretty much took everything the families had, took their food, and it was not a pretty thing. It was not pretty at all. So there's a whole lot to that. And also, that happened during the time of the outbreak when there was something called smallpox going around, much worse than what's going around today. And the soldiers were incubators and stuff and spreaders of it. So it was really putting it into your house. Interesting. So that had a lot to do with that amendment, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that today. So, amendment number 4. Amendment 5. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. Not just probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. See how specific that is about your rights and your privacy? And look what's happening today. And what's the global dream of the Great Reset? What were they claiming out there? Oh, I own nothing. I have no privacy, and I've never been happier. Yeah, right. Month. All right, Amendment 5. You know what? No privacy. You realize that there's people out there today that are saying, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter. We should do this to you, do that to you. You're this supporter. You're that supporter. Well, we should banish you. We should do this to you, do that to you." Look how they attack people for wearing a MAGA hat or some other hat. It shouldn't happen on either side of the house. Nobody should be doing that kind of stuff. You should have freedom of thought, freedom of belief, freedom of what you think should be the economic and social systems. It's not reason to be attacked just because you think it, maybe because you've supported something. But there are people who would absolutely. So if you give up your privacy, that's what they go for. They'll come after you. Like this person, he needs to be re-educated. We got to send him to a re-education center. And if we can't re-educate him, maybe an elimination center. So your privacy is important. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment of indictment by grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in the time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject to the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. This is a filth amendment, pleading the filth, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Let's see, be deprived of life, liberty, there's all these other liberties, right? Or property. How are we going to have them take this from you? Because we don't believe in property anymore. Even though you've invested your life in the building, it maybe that don't matter. No. That's inequitable. Somebody sat on the couch and munched bonbons. They deserve it as much as you. You know, you sweated all day and night. Without just compensation. Okay. They won't put a highway through your house. They got to give you just compensation for it. Interesting. In some places, yeah, they just take it. Interesting, right? So there's a lot of ground covered in the Filth Amendment, not just, you know, the pleading against yourself. You know, this is where, you know, you can't be arrested, essentially, unless you're told why you're arrested. You have a grand jury involved. There's just a whole lot involved here in protecting your freedoms. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy public trial. Speedy and public, not be tried by a closed chamber, okay? And by impartial jury in the state or district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall be previously ascertained by law and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. Now, this is habeas corpus right here. So you've got to be told why you are arrested and to be confronted by the witnesses against him. Yeah, somebody says, oh, he did it, and they go hide because they know they're lying about it, you know. To have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor. You know, he may not be guilty, he or she, and to have the assistance or counsel for his defense. That's where you get public attorneys for people that can't afford them. You want to give that up? So, Amendment 7. Amendment 7. In suits at common law where the value and controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tied by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. In suits at common law where the value and the controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. So if it's anything other than just, you know, petty, you know, stuff, you get a jury trial. And that's, you know, but you also see, yeah, you get to be tried by a jury of your peers. So you're not just tried by the state, by the party. You're tried by people. That's important. Because if you're just tried by the state, they're going to sweep you out. So they're thinking when they did this stuff. All this stuff was good. It's golden. It still is. People don't realize, the Constitution's antiquated. No, it's not. Excessive Amendment number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. You know, put you on a Rex, or your bail is $100 billion. So, you know, and it's, you know, they scale it according to your crime, you know. Amendment 9. This is one of my favorite amendments. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage other rights retained by the people. Otherwise, if it ain't in here, it's yours. Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution or prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. Again, to the states, and then or to the people. Bang, bang, to the people. We the people. Does that say right there? We the people. Somehow the we and the people got forgotten along the way. Is we the deep state, we the bureaucracy, we the new aristocracy of leaders, the blah 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 blah. Well, you know what? That's a bunch of hooey. And that's something that doesn't have to be agreed to by Huey or Huey. So there we go, my friends. Freedom by right is yours. The government didn't have to enumerate any of them. But the reason it was enumerated was the states were afraid to sign the Constitution. They knew they had some guarantees. That's why the 10th Amendment is in there. Because each state was like an independent country. And they came together under this union knowing that they might lose some of their freedoms. So they insisted to have a Bill of Rights or something. And James Madison, who later became our 4th president, penned this stuff. The original Declaration of Independence was penned by Thomas Jefferson. The Constitution was penned by George Washington, of course, in concert with a lot of other people. And the Bill of Rights was written by James Madison. And of course, we had a lot of wisdom from Ben Franklin, right? Give us the $100 bill, right? Interesting. They call our bills dead presidents. There's 2 personages on our money, our bills, that were not president. He's one. Who's the other one? It's a quiz. Y'all can answer below. Who's the other one? What denomination? That's how long it takes for that to be. I know some of you want to get it. Probably I'll read a million comments to that. At least it gets you thinking. Get you thinking. So, my friends, this is under assault. People want to just swipe this away so they can do anything they want from the top, the elites. They say they're doing it for your good, for your betterment, to help you, to help the environment, to make the world more equitable. Do you believe that? Do you really believe that? Do you buy that? I'd answer that below too. It's about control. It's mine. My precious, you're mine. You can write your mind. How is it? Why is it that the uber elite, the billionaires, not just little billionaires, I mean multi-billionaires, not the little billionaires, onesie twosie billionaire guys, they're nothing. We're talking multi-billionaires. They are the ones that are promoting the Great Reset. They are the ones that promote socialism. They are the ones that promote globalism. Oh, just so they can give everything they got away and make everything really equitable like they're claiming? You buy that? Oh, no, they're not doing that. Oh, no. They got other things in mind. Other things. And more is almost a society in China. They're not giving up what they got. What they're doing is trying to keep you from giving them competition one day. They're trying to hold you down while they become the permanent aristocracy. Kind of like feudalism and steroids. Except now they can put the electrode in your brain and control you. Oh, we've done that with rats and bugs and so forth. You can take the planar pressure centers of the mind, you can own somebody. There's been experiments with mice that they could either receive they could push a button and receive the stimulus for pleasure into the brain, or they push a button and get food. It starved to death pushing literally they did. They starved to death because they just couldn't keep pushing the pleasure on. So it's that powerful. In ways. I've talked about the high-tech arms race. I think Elon's a good guy. I think he's trying to keep AI from taking over. But this could be highly abused, as can any technology. I just had some fun doing a technology about inserting human genes that give our brains large size into monkeys. Any monkey minds, manly monkey minds. Yeah, scary, right? Okay, that couldn't be abused now, could it? I had a little fun with it, but it could be abused. And it just might. It just might. Especially by these uber billionaires. Maybe they decide they don't want us. Maybe they decide they'd rather have some monkeys. and not give them the gift of talking, so they talk back. So they don't have to worry about them exercising freedom of speech. Little slave monkeys doing all their work for them. You know, they make them human monkeys. They might take a spider. You know, look, we got spider goats now. Goats that give spider milk. What if they take the spider monkey and cross it with a human and a spider? Then you have a real spider monkey. Yikes. Okay, I had a little fun with that video, but you know, guys, we're living in a science fiction world. We really are. But freedom is fundamental. It is fundamental. Everybody should have freedom. And you know, go back and look at all my videos where I talk about that. Freedoms of various types and sorts. And I compare societies. So with all this said, I'm just going to say I'm happy today is Bill of Rights Day. We need to stop and think about it. We need to think about our rights. What do they mean? What do they mean to you? What do they mean to me? And not give them up. So join with me with our Freedom Restoration Foundation as we fight to restore our rights. You can go to our Facebook site. You got to sign on Facebook, links below. We got to sign on the MeWe page, a Facebook page. But to actually join and get on our list, because that stuff can get wiped away by the social media. If they decide to shut down that page, that site, your connection's lost. So email me right now. I'll be setting up another email soon, because we're building a website right now. But email me at the moment, hal5space@aol.com. HAL, the number 5, Arabic number 5, SPACE@aol.com, and put freedom in the subject line. If you want to join the Survival Tribe Network I'm developing, put tribe in the subject line. And I have developed a list on that and started calling people that I've identified as prospective tribe leaders because they got land. And if they say they got property and they're willing to do this, then they're on my list to call. And I've called a couple already. So it's just hard to get a hold of people. But I'm working that now. And I'll leave it to them to contact prospective tribe members in their areas, because they've got to vet them if they want them in their group, especially if they want them on their property. They need to vet them seriously. And make sure you're a good match, because it's kind of like getting married, you know, when you get in a relationship like that with a bunch of people. It's a big family out there to try. All right, enough said of all that. You know, there's a lot of channels that just come on here and they talk fear. And I get accused of that. I get accused of that a lot. If you want that, go to AMTV and some of these other channels. I come on here and I talk about the Freedom Restoration Foundation, the Tribe Network. I have chaired 2 power grid defense conferences, and I brought people on here to tell you how to get your power grid hardened. I tell you things you can do yourself. I talk about wild edibles. Sometimes I Greg, you only sell this food stuff. Well, I talk about wild edibles. I've done videos on going to the big box stores. So I'm trying to be comprehensive and cover all these things. There's a time and place for this. There's a time and place for that and the other thing. But you need an integrated package to better your chances of getting through all this stuff. But the whole point of the Tribe Network is, and the foundations, hopefully we can preserve our freedoms, preserve our power grid, and if it does hit the fan, we stand up and shake the dust off and build a better society afterwards. That's the goal, that's the dream. And while it's hitting the fan, we can hunker down together, we can still have our own economy and trade with each other if necessary. So that's the beauty of that idea. And also, hey, and having the community is a good thing anyway, even if it don't hit the fan. We are in what I call it hits the fan light. I mean, quite frankly, a lot of people are set. They're saying like 40 million people might lose their homes in January. We've had 72,000 small businesses shut down. But who got rich in all this? Those guys I was talking about earlier, those uber billionaires, they got richer. The people down here got swept out. The dream is getting put in place. Yeah, they're getting it. Oh, they pulled some tricks on us, but they're not going to win. Okay? That's my optimism. We got to work it, my friends. So join with us. Let's work it. Anyway, so you watch this long, so hey, in the end, we win. And thank you for watching.